Okay, so this is kind of a joke, obviously, because all we grow are edibles. Michael can't hear because they're over there building an enclosure, but that's great. These are our super loquats, some pomegranates that we're going to split up. And so we have two gates. We have our main entrance here. This is Amanda, one of our first time volunteers. And this is our greenhouse. And with the tanks that we don't really use unless there's an emergency, our basic irrigation system. We have some wild stuff growing like spotted bee balm and mint. We're using to keep out the other plants. Some vining plants including grapes, and we're trying to root those from the cuttings. And these are some Chuchucha peppers, or Turban Peppers. They're mild, they're not spicy, but they're pretty cool and they make a lot of fruit. We have some strawberries, mostly for us to eat whenever we're out here in season. This is called Sochan, which is an edible green. It was really popular with Native Americans. It's actually native, but not so much in Gainesville, kind of towards the Panhandle and towards Georgia, where those grow. These are the edible fruiting cactus, and they make a really antioxidant-rich purple pear. They're called La Tuna in Spanish cultures. You could even buy those at Publix. These are some of the figs. We have about 8 different varieties of figs, and what's good about that is for disease resistance, and also they have different taste. And also what's cool is they fruit at different times of the year. So most fruit around late June to early August, and right now it's September, mid-September, and these have fruit on them. So that's pretty exciting to have a longer fruit season. These are some of our Thornless Blackberries, and I believe that's a wild cherry. This was a type of pear, and this thing got huge, and it was actually growing in a 1-gallon pot, the poor thing, and it pretty much was growing with no soil and got huge. So that's pretty hardy. So we focus on stuff like that that's real hardy for the area. So that aluminum foil on there is what they call an air layer, and where one of the types of cloning methods organically is you could grow roots on the branch. So you put some moist material in there and seal it off, and it'll grow roots on the branch, and then you can snip it, and then from that point it'll be a new plant. And these are some more of our thornless blackberries. We have a couple different types. Some of our cold hardy guavas, and we have 2 kinds of that. And these are the native lamb's quarter, and you can see these are starting to create seeds, and sometimes we grow things just so we can collect the seeds, because we have a seed bank, and we sell those really cheap, and also plant those out whenever the time is right. And that's like a kind of edible. It's an edible. It's very similar to spinach in taste and really nutritious. This is a yucca or cassava, which you can get in any grocery store, and it's really popular in Latin America, and in the Dominican Republic and Haiti they make bread out of it too. This is chaya, or the Mexican spinach tree, and that is twice as nutritious as spinach. It's a little cold sensitive, but it's a perennial shrub, and if you cover it well it'll grow back. And if you have a latex allergy, it does create a little bit of latex when you pluck it, so just a little caution on that, but otherwise it's really delicious. You can mix it in with starch like mashed potatoes or something. It's pretty good. These are Jerusalem artichokes, or sunchokes, and that's a tuber, and it's also a sunflower. So you eat the root of the sunflower, which is pretty cool. And they're really delicious, and they're kind of expensive in the store, so it's nice to grow things like this on your own. Same with figs. Figs are pretty expensive in the store, but they're really underutilized in gardens around here, for the most part. These are goldenrod, which make these really pretty yellow flowers, and this is the start of them. And you can make tea out of it, and it's good for you. And these are some of our blueberries, some of our older ones. And we try and take things out of the shade nursery and put them out here in the sun. And these are some of our sugarcane. We actually have a special fiberless variety of sugarcane, so that's really delicious. You can chomp on that and it won't be all stringy. We had tried to grow some passion fruits, but it didn't grow too well for some reason, so we're trying to figure that out. But these are moringas. The Miraculous Moringa, which is great for vegetarians. It's grown in Africa, especially to alleviate hunger, and NPR has been featuring that, so people have been scooping these up, and it's highly nutritious, green. It becomes a small tree that'll grow back in the spring, and it's really high in potassium and calcium and protein, and so it's super healthy for you. This is some of our Jamaican Sorrel, which the leaves have like a lemon flavor, really good for adding to salads. You can make tea with them. Particularly the flowers turn into a fruit, quasi-fruit called a calyx, and you can make tea out of it. It's used all over the world, and including in the States, as a commercial tea, like Tazo Passion or Red Zinger. These are some more of our strawberries, and just kind of a little bit of variety of stuff. One of our mulberries, which is about a 15-20 foot tree that makes a ton of berries, and it's not a bush, it's a tree, and that'll make a bunch of fruit that's kind of like a blackberry. These are Pigeon Peas, which is a shrubby legume, or a bean, more like a lentil. And you see here there's the pod, and it makes a pretty flower that turns into the pod. And these are a whole bunch of the bee balm, spotted bee balm, and you can see these little guys, and girls maybe, but they're having a ball, and they're there's bees all over the place, just kind of lapping them up. So they're great pollinators, really good addition if you're growing any fruit. And you can use them like oregano or make a tea. They supposedly have medicinal properties. This is some rosemary, which grows really great in Central Florida. It'll just spread and take over. It's really awesome, real low maintenance. You can grow it wild. And I don't recall off the top of my head what these are. I want to say that they're a type of plum, but I don't know off the top of my head. So we need some help labeling stuff. Here's something kind of off-season. September, we actually have mulberries, which there are. I actually think this is one of our everbearing mulberries, so they have more than one crop. And so this is what I was just describing, and they're pretty delicious. They just don't last well off the shelf, so you don't really find these in the store. But that's one of our key plants. This is a type of a black raspberry that somebody gave us. It does have thorns, but they're pretty tasty. Whoa! The bees. Alright, so this is lemongrass, which you can, in Jamaica they call it fiva grass, and you can make tea out of it. You can make kind of like a lemonade. It's pretty tasty. You can use the roots to insert in the chicken and kind of marinate. You can also use it for soups. It's really popular in Thai cooking and Vietnamese cooking. And here's some more of our thornless blackberries, and the chickens in the background. And this is one of the other pears that I was mentioning, the survivor pears. And we always need help with weeds. These are a really invasive weed that's just kind of taken over everything. So you don't have to know anything about plants to pull these weeds. It's we grow everything very naturally and use organic practices, so pulling weeds is definitely a way to help us do that. Alright, so that's the basic outside area.